Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Happy Sunday. Hopefully, your weekend has been going swimmingly up to this point, or whenever you're actually watching this. But this Sunday, we are going to do a VR for the autograph fisherman John Burgess, who reached 400 subs a little while ago and is running a VR. John, correct me in the comments. I think you said you're running it until October the 24th. Anyway, link to John will be down below. And the two things that John wanted. He requested a shout out to a channel under 400 subs, which we will start with now, and that is everybody's favorite Frenchman. I know, definitely my favorite Frenchman, Fabien, an undrafted player. When I checked, I should have written it down, but I forgot. But I think he was at just over 300, 304. So he has such an interesting collection of not only vintage cards, but vintage sporting equipment and magazines, and just absolutely incredible collection. Go watch his videos, more than likely you're going to see something you have never seen before. And show him some love, and he will definitely show you some love back. And the final part, or the big part of John's VR was simply this. He wants you, or he is asking for you to create an underrated hockey lineup. But he said you could do other sports, but I thought about it. And I chose hockey because, quite simply, it's a lot fewer positions. I'm looking 6 versus, 10 or so in baseball. I don't know basketball at all, and 22 in football. So we were going to go hockey, and this is, to all the Penguins fans, quote unquote, you may want to tune away because there's a lot of Penguins, but that's who I grew up on and that's who I consider underrated. But we're not starting with the Penguin, however. We're going to start at the center position. We're going to start, and because it's John, I went the all autograph edition as per usual. We have Neil Broughton on the old Bowman. A lot of people would probably best know Neil as being part of the gold medal winning team in 1980 and part of the Miracle on Ice, but had almost 1,100 games in the NHL, actually 1,099, 923 career points, and my notes are terrible because my handwriting is awful. He is actually, I think, still the only player in NHL history to win the Olympic gold medal, the Stanley Cup, which he won in 95 as part of the Devils, and the Hobey Baker Award, which is the college hockey equivalent of the Heisman Trophy. Very, very, very big, long career in Minnesota with the old North Stars. Started there in 1980 till 93. Went with them to Dallas, I should say, 93 to 95. Bounced over to New Jersey for a bit. Went to the Kings for a little bit in 96, 97, and then finished off his career back in Dallas. And actually in 1986, had himself a 105-point season, which is, it's 50 goals and 100 points, I think, is still kind of like the standard. Moving on, and these two actually came from John, I should say. One of my favorite Penguins growing up. Sorry, Slappy. Kevin Stevens for the left winger. He had a really, I think I would say underrated for him because despite he had 874 games, 1,470 penalty minutes. That's a lot of penalty minutes. Played for the Penguins from 87 to 95. Went to Boston for a little bit in 95, then finished off 95 to 97 with the Kings. The Rangers, 97 to 2000, spent a cup of coffee with the Flyers in 2000 and came home to the Penguins. From 2000 to 2002, won the Cups with the Pens in 91, 92. But he had an insanely good 4-year run that I don't think a lot of people actually remember much. In 91, he had 40 goals. 92, 54 goals and 123 points. 93, 53 goals, 111 points. and in 94 had 41 goals. And just unfortunately just really dipped after that, never got back to that level. But that 4-year period, I say, is worth getting him on there. And the next one, this one I got back actually a long time ago, but it was on one of these old jersey cards for the right winger, Rick Middleton. Looking at, and his career, I think just because of, it was a little shorter than it should have been. Started with the Rangers, 74 to 76. And then went to Boston for the rest of it, 77 to 88. 1,005 games, 988 points. Had 200-point seasons in 81 and 84, 50-goal season in 82. And his career ended kind of abruptly after being injured. I think he was hit with a hockey puck and then wore a helmet for the last 2 or 3 years of his career, but then that was it for him. So underrated because I think his career didn't last as long as it should. Moving along rather swiftly, another Penguin, I know. But for the defenseman, I can't remember if John sent me this one or I sent this one out myself. I think I may have, but I'm going to throw Kjell Samuelsson in there just because I don't know if a lot of people really remember Kjell Samuelsson. They kind of should. 813 NHL games, 1,225 penalty minutes. Bounced around a little bit. The Rangers from 85 to 87. Flyers 87 to mid-92. Then came over, finished 92 to 95 with the Penguins. Back to Philadelphia from 95 to 98. And then went to Tampa Bay for 1 year, 98 to 99. Won the Stanley Cups with the Penguins. And just a guy I loved watching. I wish he played with the Penguins longer, but I got to see him a lot because he played for the Flyers too. Next defenseman and the penultimate player, we're going to Colorado/Quebec. Adam Foote. What a cool looking autograph. It's been a while since I looked at that one with the silver. Started off when they were the Nordiques. Played 91 to 95. Followed them to Colorado from 95 to 04. Went to the Blue Jackets for 05 to 08, came back to Colorado 08 to 11. That guy is one of the most intertwined members of the Colorado Avalanche. Jersey retired, part of the 2 Stanley Cups in 96 and 2001. 1,154 games played, 1,534 penalty minutes, and a gold medal in 2002 with Team Canada. And finally, the goalie, and just because of his story. Yes, it's a Penguin, but I'm rolling that train. It's Wendell Young. Number 1, I remember him growing up. Number 2, he is a very, very, very good autograph signer. And number 3, he has the nickname the Ringmaster, simply because he is the only player, I still think to date, to win 4 different championship rings. He won the Memorial Cup, which is the best team in the CHL, in 1982 with the Kitchener Rangers. Won the Turner Cup in the International Hockey League twice with the Chicago Wolves in 98 and 2000. Won the Calder Cup in the AHL. Won it once as a player in 88 with the Hershey Bears, and once as the, I think he's still the general manager for the Chicago Wolves in the AHL in 2022. And finally, a pair of Stanley Cups with the Pittsburgh Penguins in 91 and 92. And I'm sorry, when you have that kind of hardware, you get the nod for underrated in my book. So that's going to do it. My hockey underrated lineup for John's 400 sub VR. Make sure to check him out. Make sure to check out Fabian at Undrafted Player. And have a good rest of your weekend. We will see you on Monday.